Guys, just hear me out. Hi, it's me, your favorite internet boy. A new Bungie game has been announced called Marathon, and I have to admit that I haven't seen a more boring and lifeless game in a long time. When even Conquer has more interesting character design, well, it doesn't look good. But today I'm not going to talk about that, because there is a game recently premiered in early access that definitely deserves my attention more. I'm talking about Wild Assault. This game very positively surprised me, so let's talk about it. If I had to describe this game in short, I would say that this is a third-person Battlefield with a furry heroes, which is a truly original combination. I have to admit that as a huge Battlefield fan, I really like this game. I have been carving for a good Battlefield for a long time right now, because all recent Battlefield's games sucked, and Wild Assault has a really good chance of filling that gap. But first thing first, the game menu itself looks really decent. It's not crowded and everything is very intuitively placed, making it easy to find what you are looking for. I mention this because unfortunately, in some popular multiplayer games it's no longer a standard. Now let's talk about what makes this game different from Battlefield. Our heroes. We all know that Battlefield 2042 already tried to do something like this and it turned out quite shitty. But Wild Assault, unlike that unfortunate game, implements this idea really well. Here we have the standard classes like in other Battlefields, and heroes serve as subclasses of a given class that do the same thing as the class, just in slightly different way. Additionally, they are really well balanced, and their skills complement each other, so the game rewards team play. As for the rest of the game is just Battlefield. The game currently has two modes. Raid is practically a rush, but instead of blowing up two objects, you take over two bases. And Conquest, which looks exactly like a conquest in Battlefield, with the difference that from time to time a neutral item will appear on the map and the team that captures it regains a significant part of their tickets. So these two modes are not completely copies of Battlefield mods, because the developers added something from themselves, which is a plus. Gunplay is really solid, because it's an exactly copy of Battlefield 4. The sound is great, the weapons have significant recoil and are hard to control, plus when you shoot at a long distance there is a bullet drop. Each weapon feels completely different in use, and there are really a lot of them, 14 if I'm not mistaken, which is a really decent amount. Additionally, each gun can be freely customized, and there are a lot of attachments that we unlock by using the particular gun. The biggest downside on this game is that there are only 3 maps. It's not a lot, but at least they are really well designed. When it comes to graphics, overall the maps look very decent, but the most striking thing that developers put the most work into it are the character designs. The heroes that we play as look absolutely amazing, and that's actually a very big compliment, because it's really hard to make realistic anthropomorphic characters in a way that they don't look uncanny valley. Just look at Western AAA gaming market, for example. Of course, for an indie Eastern studio this is not a problem. Male characters are peak masculine and testosterone-filled badasses, and female are very hot and sexy chicks that have really advanced physics mechanics. Like really, we have hair physics, tail physics, boob physics, ass physics. There is a lot of physics here. Maybe a little bit too much, but that can be improved. The best part is that despite such an advanced physics system, the game is really well optimized. And I only came across some minor bugs like hair not loading properly or something like that. Additionally, they are really rare, which is surprising considering that we are talking about an early access game. The progression system is also very extensive. In addition to leveling up weapons and unlocking attachments to them, we also level up the heroes themselves, thanks to which we unlock new weapons for them and get talent points that we can spend in the skill tree to improve their abilities, which give them light buffs. We also have various challenges, daily quests, events, thanks to which we can earn currency that we can use to unlock new heroes, and boosters, thanks to which we can speed up weapon leveling. And there is also a battle pass, but it is completely free, and its premium version only gives us access to a few skins, so it can be completely ignored if you're not interested in grinding it. It's important to mention that developers are constantly updating the game and taking into account player feedback. They even released a roadmap when they plan to add more weapons and characters, of course, but they also plan to add mod support, which is a great idea. The only thing I would change if I were them is the amount of game mods they want to add. There are way too many of them, which will spread the player base terribly and make the queues for matches longer. In my opinion, they should add just one mod which is Team Deathmatch, and add about 10 new maps, because 3 is definitely too few. Additionally, this game is a single player campaign that can be played in co-op with friends, and maybe some other PvE content. They already have a great foundation for that with interesting characters and lore, so it would be a huge mistake to not use that. And speaking of minor fixes, give the options to choose that you want to play all modes on all servers instead of choosing just one. This divides player base and unnecessarily prolongs matchmaking, so please change that. Would I recommend this game in its current state? Yes, despite the small amount of maps, I think this game is worth playing. However, adding more maps should definitely be a priority for developers, because after 20 hours of gameplay they simply get boring. Still, worth $15. At least they don't steal artwork from small artists, which is always a plus. And I think it's really not worth giving any attention to this type of people, but rather promoting those who genuinely care about providing a good product to gamers. That's why it's worth subscribing to my channel. White Assault Early Access gets my seal of approval. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.